Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a complete and in-depth review for you of the brand new game, Apex Legends. This was a surprise launch yesterday. It just came out hot and fresh and is currently the #1 game on Twitch and YouTube. I played it for about 8 hours last night, 6 on PC and 2 on PS4. You'll see gameplay from both of those play sessions in this video. I have 26 years of FPS experience. I'm a huge Titanfall 1 and 2 fangirl, and as you know, I like Call of Duty and other shooters on this channel, Fortnite, Battle Royale, PUBG, all that sort of stuff. So I like Battle Royales, I like hero shooters, and I like free-to-play games. And in today's episode, I'm going to be going over the basic facts of Apex Legends, the good, the bad, and then of course, the ugly of the game, because there is some not so great stuff about Apex Legends. So basic facts is that this is set in the Titanfall universe. You could think of it as Titanfall BR or Titanfall 3, although there are no Titans. It mostly focuses on the pilots. Apex Legends is a squad-based hero shooter with 3D movement, kind of, we'll get to that in a little bit, and it's a Battle Royale game. So right now you can only play in 3-man squads, there's no solos and no duos, and there's a 60-player limit on the map. So a little bit unusual that there's no solo duo list, you have your 3-man teams, and the player count isn't very high for a Battle Royale game. Pre-match allows you to pick legends, kind of like you would pick heroes in Overwatch or operators in Siege, though given that it's Battle Royale, the best comparison is probably Realm Royale. Each legend has one passive ability, one tactical ability, and one ultimate ability, with impact levels varying quite a lot, but none of them really going to outplay any individual's gun skill. Some of them are mobility-based, some of them heal, some provide a defensive barrier, and a few of them have offensive abilities, but so far the offensive ones haven't been that powerful. And once again, no Titans in Titanfall BR, unfortunately. There's also no wall running in this game, or really complicated 3D movement, which I sorely miss, but you can climb very high and up surfaces. It's not quite parkour, but if there's a 12-foot wall, you can probably climb up it. You can slide very, very far and very fast. You take no fall damage, so you can jump off anything of any height. Zip lines get you all over the map very quickly, and some of the legend abilities allow you to move fast, such as teleporting or creating zip lines or grappling hooks or stuff like that. So there's a lot of movement, even though there's not traditional 3D movement. You have regular aim down sights guns with no goofy bloom or anything like you would see in Fortnite. No building either, if we're going to be talking about Fortnite. And uniquely to this Battle Royale game, you can respawn dead teammates by collecting their beacon, which is a little banner with their DNA in it, and you take it to a respawn point and it like re-summons their ghost into the map. They just come down and a fresh new body ready to fight. But you have to first, obviously, kill the people that killed them. Then you have to pick up their banner, or dog tags, or whatever you want to call it. Then you have to take that to a dedicated respawn point on the map, which will then call them in with no guns. So it's kind of a process, but it is a good thing overall, and it's a good transition because now we're moving into the good part of this review. One of the best things about Apex Legends is that this is a fully finished, non-beta, AAA quality shooter from Respawn Entertainment that is free to play. No money whatsoever to play on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4. You can literally download it for free right now on any system that you want. It's not pay to win either. There's no pay to play, there's no boost, there's no get better stuff with money or anything like that. It's funded primarily through skins, gun camos, and emotes, and there are new legends that you can unlock for about $8 each, legends being your heroes or playable characters. So far, all of the legends are balanced, and the paid ones are not any better than the basic ones. They're just more choices. I guess we're kind of going the League of Legends model here. The map itself is plenty big. The map is just enormous for how many people you have on it. It looks gorgeous, and it's set in the Titanfall universe, so it has all of that Titanfall art that I love, and that really tickles my fancy. It's got a lot of varied, we have jungles and deserts and cities and giant dinosaurs and stuff going on. I really enjoyed the look of the map. The map is also well designed for combat. Almost every area has engagements that would remind you of something from a multiplayer map from Titanfall 1 or 2. Even the woods or desert has really good terrain. There's a giant dinosaur spine you can get on and fight people on the bones. You know, we're doing really good here. There's also a lot of ways to climb, to take zip lines. One of the things I like is there's zip lines that go straight up, so you can take it up to a balloon tower and then jump off the top and fly kind of out like a launch pad in Fortnite. So there's a lot of stuff going on the maps. It all works really well. And overall, the gunplay feel and balance of the guns in the is great. It feels feels like a good quality shooter when you go to kill people, and I expected no less from the COD 4 MW2 team. They pretty much invented modern shooting mechanics, so they continue doing well here. There's a little caveat to that. There are some problems with the guns we'll talk about later. The ping system that was added to this game is something that Battle Royale games needed for a very long time, and it's very well done. On PlayStation, you have a one-button ping that automatically tags an enemy. It tags the location or distance. It'll tag items. You can communicate very quickly and very effectively with no microphone whatsoever, and you can literally do everything through pings and emotes, and it works super well. There is a caveat to that in that adding the ping system and making it as robust as it is obviously changed the nature of the control schemes in the game, which we'll get to in a moment. One of the other neat things I enjoyed is that you can jump together in a group of 3. When you're on your ship flying over, you have what's called the Jump Master. The Jump Master, you can choose to fly with him, just kind of shoulder to shoulder, so that you never land without your teammates. You never have that one guy that doesn't know how to parachute, that doesn't know how to float or fly, and ends up on the wrong side of the map, so you're a man down in your next fight. That doesn't have to happen here. You can all fly together. Or if you don't like the way your Jump Master's flying, if you see a better opportunity, you can split off and break away from him and go solo if you want to. Most of the time what I see people do is we fly together to the same city or town, and then they kind of break apart like fighter jets pulling off, which is really neat. I do like being able to revive downed teammates, even though it's often a difficult process and it's very tilty when I kill enemies and they get revived. It's nice to play a Battle Royale game where I don't have to reset when everybody dies, because a lot of times, especially in Blackout, because there's a lot of thirsting, well, half my team's dead in the beginning and we're all streaming, so let's just reset. Or everybody died and this isn't fun just watching J-Hub play, so let's go and reset. In this game, if you survive and get the tags, you can take them to a respawn point and bring them back in. So there's a reason to stay in the game if you're dead. It kind of keeps it going, and I think that's one of the better features of this game. Two other features that were more minor in appearance but had a high impact on me is that every single time you drop in, there's a high loot value area on the map, and it's designated by a big blue circle. There's just one part of the map that just has high value loot, and everybody knows that that area has high value loot, which means everybody's going to be going there to fight for it. So if you want to drop and get good guns and good armor, that's the spot, but be prepared to kill everybody. Similarly, there is what I have affectionately called the gunboat that flies across the map on your initial fly-in and spawn. So you're flying in on this huge drop-off ship that comes over the map, and you'll look at the map and you'll see that there is a gunboat landing point, and the gunboat itself is coming into the map from some random direction, and beneath you, beside you, parallel, perpendicular, across, whatever. And you have the option to jump out and fly to this moving boat and land on a gunship, get all the guns in amazing gear, and then jump straight off and take no fall damage and go to combat. There's one catch though. Everybody's learned this already, so there's going to be about 42 teams on that gunboat, and you better land and get one of those guns fast, and if you're the survivor of the gunboat, well, you're pretty set. If your teammates die or go down on the gunboat, it's pretty bad. It's a little glitchy because it doesn't deal with air respawns very well. And in my opinion, on the good, this game is very fun when played properly with friends. If you're playing with friends on a team of people that communicate, you're going to have a great time with this game because it's literally 100% about teamwork. Now let's move on to the bad. This is definitely the juicier part of the video. I know that the bad and the ugly is what most of you want to see. The game is very different looking than most shooters. It has a different art style. It has a different, sort of anti-aliasing and sort of color scheme. And I found it very hard to spot enemies, at least initially. They didn't stand out. It took me about 5 hours of playtime to get good enough to start spotting enemies. It wasn't intuitive, and the enemies do blend into the background more than I would like, especially for a colorblind person. This Battle Royale game, like almost all of them since PUBG and Fortnite, PUBG and Fortnite did audio perfectly, but every game since then seems to not get it. Footsteps in Apex Legends are way quieter than gunshots, which is the same problem as Blackout. So I'm a guy who has slightly more sensitive ears. I don't like loud noises. They're physically painful to me, and they make my ears ring a lot. So I can turn up the volume to where I can comfortably hear footsteps and sound whore people and hear them at any distance. However, that volume to me is so loud that when I shoot my guns, it's physically painful and it makes me want to go deaf. And I'm not the only one that has this problem. Gamers in general, I know a lot of you just get Astros or whatever and crank them up to 9 billion decibels and just blow your ears out. But a lot of people don't do that. And you're going to have a harder time hearing footsteps in this game than you will in others. So you should expect a lot of third and fourth party vultures coming in out of seemingly nowhere into your gunfights to steal your kills and mop up on all the loot, because they'll be a little harder to see and a little bit harder to hear. However, if you'd like something that might help you get a heads up on those footsteps, let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Logitech G. They're releasing the brand new G432 headsets today. These are my personal favorite of the Logitech brand. I like the weight, I like the inner ear material here, so I'm a big fan of their wired line. However, they're also launching a wireless line today, the G935. It's an upgraded version of what they already have. My wife prefers these. I find them a little heavy, and I don't like the leathery stuff here. But one of the neat things you can do is reprogram every single button on the side to be in-game commands, OBS commands, smart home commands, anything that runs on your computer, Windows commands, you can do anything. So I've seen a lot of creative uses for those, and all of the gameplay on PC was achieved using Logitech keyboards and mice. So I'd encourage you to check out today's sponsors link below. If not, let's get back to the review. Now that the brief sponsorship moment is over, let's continue with the bad parts of Apex Legends. The gun spawn rates are rough, to be perfectly honest with you. There are a lot of times that I've landed and ran around and found no guns, found only a pistol, two of the same pistols, the shotgun pistol, just something not particularly useful. You can clear buildings, warehouses, areas, and not find guns or not find good guns. So you need to be prepared for a lot of pistol versus pistol battles, pistol versus shotgun, pistol versus rifle. Just get good at the pistols. And not all the pistols are bad. Some of them are quite strong, but they're still not going to be as good as a rifle. Speaking of strength, some guns are insanely weak compared to how they look or what ammo they shoot. And enemies tend to have a lot of health, so there was a big learning curve with this game, which I'll talk more about in the ugly section, in that you can dump an entire magazine into somebody's body and sometimes even headshots and not get the kill. Somebody's running right at you and I dump 25 rounds into them with whatever probably lower caliber gun I'm using. They still have half health and they're not dead, and that is really bad, and it's really annoying. There's definitely a skill there, and as I played more and got better at the game and learned what weapons did what, I was able to more accurately gauge how to kill people. But just dumping 25 rounds of an SMG into some dude at point blank and them not dying is very tilty. The meta in this game right now is LMGs and shotguns. Those will just do the best for you. Speaking of which, I also think that sniper headshots should do a lot more damage. I've used the Energy triple bolt, triple threat sniper rifle with the attachment that shoots 3 shots at one time. Shot a dude across the map. It was a beautiful shot, like 400 meters. Hit him right in the head, got the gold head damage. Didn't kill him. It was just fine. That happens all the time with the DMR snipers and the other sniper rifles. They don't deal a lot of damage, especially against the high armored enemies. Moving along with the guns. Guns typically start with low capacity magazines. Most of the weapons that you pick up in this game, the fully automatic kind that is, will start with 12 rounds, 18 rounds, 20 rounds, 35 rounds on the high capacity guns. Like your LMG, you'll have 30 rounds, something like that, which is very low capacity on your magazines. You're going to have to pick up various extended magazine attachments that go anywhere from common up to gold in order to make the gun better. And that in itself is frustrating, but you can't carry that much ammo because ammo takes up a lot of space in your backpack. So you have to be very accurate with your weapons. You can't afford to spray and pray because you'll get stuck reloading, and you can't afford to just be aggressive and waste your ammo because you'll completely run out of ammo in this game. Running out of ammo, fighting over ammo, begging your teammates for ammo is very common. I spent probably half my night managing the ammo situation, and that's good in a way in that it's more survival-y, it's more Battle Royale-y, but this is supposed to be more of a fast-paced game, I think, and it prevents me from going balls out on people, which I don't like. Speaking of health, ammo, damage, all this, the armor system is a little bit strange, not particularly intuitive. The amount of shield that you have is directly related to how much or what tier your chest plate is. What tier helmet you have doesn't matter. Each helmet has its own level of protection that also drains from your shield but can break independently from your shield and be exposed to headshots. It's not very intuitive. Didn't particularly like it. And one of the other bad things that we talked about later with the ping buttons, you remember those pings that I loved so much that were so good for communicating? Yes, they're great, but especially on PlayStation 4, the ping button is on R1, which replaced your quick grenades, and it's similar on PC, so there's no quick grenade button. You have to manually equip your grenade like it's CSGO and then throw it at people, and there's a significant equip time too. You can't just fast swap it. In some ways, this makes it more tactical. You can't just grenade spam people all to hell like you can in Call of Duty Blackout. Grenade spam's a big problem in Blackout. Still, it was and still is a problem, I should say. Having an equip time does slightly decrease the grenade spam because people tend not to open up gunfights with grenades like they do in Blackout, but you can still get spammed if somebody sees you and they're just going to equip their grenades and throw them all from a distance and swap back. Overall, I don't like this. I think it just makes grenades harder to use in a tactical game, and I kind of would probably trade my ping button for a fast grenade button or maybe some other button. You also cannot fast equip items on PC. For whatever reason, you can only equip it directly through the menu. So even though you can control the menu with a mouse, I found the console menu to be much more intuitive. I actually preferred the PlayStation 4 menu. And maybe I'm just dumb, maybe I didn't figure this out, but none of my friends figured it out either. It would just be whatever health or grenade item you had equipped, picked up first would be the one that you had equipped, and if you wanted to equip something else, you needed to drop it and re-pick it up, or you needed to just kind of cycle through your menus really slowly, which I did not like at all. Of course, I ran into some minor glitches, some little ones here and there. Overall, the glitches weren't too bad, and most of the ones that I ran into were funny, but a glitch is a bad thing, and you should expect a few glitches. Now, finally, here at the end of the episode, we are going to be talking about the ugly. That is the really juicy, meaty part, where I'm going to be drudging the sewers of this game and saying some real mean things. And the meanest thing I'm going to start off with is that the learning curve on this game is basically a cliff that you have to climb with no gear, like you're in Mission Impossible. The learning curve is really steep. It's like, probably not as bad as jumping into Dota with no instructions, but for what should be a fast-paced hero shooter, there's a lot of non-intuitive things. There's a lot of stuff that's not explained whatsoever in the tutorial. There's no way to learn this stuff other than to play and just kind of figure it out the hard way. And I found that to be one of the most frustrating things, that there was just so much to learn and so little time, and I spent so much time getting murdered by really stupid stuff. That's also one of the things that when I was playing with J-Hub, he has a very negative opinion about this game, pissed him off, is that there's just so much like crap going on that doesn't make a lot of sense, and it didn't make sense to me until many hours later. The other main thing is that movement is clunky. And that makes me sad. Titanfall 1 had some of the best, smoothest, most butter-smooth, orgasm-inducing movement in a shooting game that I've ever played in my entire life. Titanfall 2 was scaled back a little bit. It was a little bit like your character was a little bit more weighty. They had momentum. They didn't wall run as much. But overall, the mobility was really good, especially with the grapple hook. While Apex Legends is scaled down again. You're slower, you have a lot less advanced movement, only one character has the grapple hook. The climbing is a little bit buggy, a little bit clunky, sometimes the momentum's a little bit weird. I don't like the way that characters bobble their head, I don't like the gun timeout times, and overall it's going to feel a little bit slower and a little bit clunkier than Titanfall 2, which is very sad because I know that Respawn can make fast, smooth, beautiful games. And I will say that in this instance, movement is worse on PlayStation 4 than it is on PC. And that's a little bit weird because I usually find that mobility on console games is easier with the buttons and the sticks. But on PC, it's just way easier to climb around. It may have something to do with the frame rate, or it may have something to do... I don't know what the problem is, but it was rough. It was definitely rough. Not as smooth as what I wanted. The next ugly thing is that you 100% must play this game with friends. Randoms will make you want to kill yourself, especially because it's a new game and none of your randoms will know what their abilities do. None of your randoms will stick with you. None of them will communicate with you. None of them will ping. If you're not playing this game with two friends, you should just go eat glass or something. It'd be a lot more fun. Don't play with randoms. There's no solos playlist. There's no duos playlist. There's no rank playlist. There's no way to get anybody that won't eat paint chips unless you play with friends. On the topic of teammates, the health in this game I dislike, or the overall gunplay. It feels good sometimes, but one of the big problems I have with it, especially coming in from Call of Duty and PUBG and to a lesser degree Fortnite, is that you really can't 1v3 or 1v2 competent people. Obviously, if they're sitting still and you just, world star one guy before the team knows where you are, you have an advantage there. But any decent team will not allow you to 1v3 or 1v2 no matter how good you are, how much better than them you are, how good of a drop you get on them. It's a lot more like Halo, so DPS trades are the name of the game. You need to have a buddy there backing you up with these DPS trades, trading your blows back and forth. It's not PUBG, it's not Call of Duty, you're not going to be able to get picks. And as a player of those games, that frustrates me. I don't like being better than all three players, but being incapable of killing them all because of how much health they have. On this same topic as well, of communication and killing enemies and stuff, the in-game voice chat quality is comically bad. I know that obviously it's not going to be as good as Discord or Skype or whatever, but whatever VoIP line they have, whatever bitrate they're running through, it makes everybody's microphone sound like two Dixie cups with a little piece of string behind it, and they're talking to you in a wind tunnel full of bees. It's really bad. So I don't use it at all. Discord or bust for me. Another ugly is that I've been getting PC crashes. For those of you that watched my stream last night, I did get quite a few PC crashes. Some of them cost me games because I was doing really well near the end, and that's something I don't like. I don't like when my game completely crashes, freezes, and dies. I would just rather not have that. The game had no crashes and no problems whatsoever on PlayStation 4, and all of my Xbox friends say that it runs even better on Xbox than it does on PlayStation 4, and I believe that. But PC still has a little bit of work to go. Shadowplay will not recognize the game either, which isn't a good sign, and it seems to want to do some goofy things to my monitor resolutions for whatever reasons, so that needs to be improved upon. Outside of the crashes, however, performance was good. I had high frame rate, high FPS, it was fine, and 2K resolution, no frame drops, no stutter, no input delay, all that was great. But crashes piss me off. The other thing that is really ugly about this game is that there is way too much loot. Too many tiers of items, too many tiers of individual attachment levels, too many sights that go on too many guns, and too little space in my bag. Even with a fully upgraded bag, I find myself really not knowing what I have, how much of it I need, what attachments go on what guns, what attachments are better than other guns, if I should use my ultimate accelerant or my Phoenix potion or whatever in the world is going on. It's a little bit too much to start with. I think that it's probably less overall loot than Fortnite or PUBG has in total, but those games have been around for a year or two and they've kind of worked their way up to this point so players know what it is. Apex Legends, they're just dropping us off here with tons of stuff and no explanations, so it's going to be confusing. And on top of that, it's hard to manage multiple ammo types. If you're running a gun with two guns with two different types of ammo, like half your bag is just going to be the ammo, which is frustrating. In my personal opinion, there are not enough legends or unlocks at the moment. Well, there's a lot of gun and skin unlocks, which is great, but there's not quite enough legends. We need more legends in Apex Legends, because people should thirst for these new heroes. Right now, there's only 2 to unlock, and I think that Respawn should put a top-tier priority on fixing bugs and making more legends available. And finally, here at the end of the ugly, I don't think that this game is going to last 3 years like Respawn wants. I want to be wrong. People that play this game make me wrong. I want more than anything to be wrong right now, okay? I want a new Battle Royale game to come out and compete with Call of Duty and Fortnite because competition is always good for the consumer, and I also kind of want something new to play. But looking at the overall response to the game, and some of its flaws that we've talked about today, and opinions of my friends and other content creators, I don't think this is going to be a 3-year game. I don't think it's going to have legs to go off and overtake Fortnite. That being said, I do not project that Apex Legends will die. That is not my bet. I bet that Apex Legends lives for a very long time, but I also bet that it's definitely going to be smaller than Fortnite, it's going to be smaller than PUBG, and it will probably be smaller than Blackout. It's a huge player base right now, but I'm expecting that to dwindle down. Blackout's got a huge start because it's Call of Duty and the sales are stupidly high. I think it's going to be the 4th Battle Royale game, because right now I've got Fortnite, PUBG, and Blackout. I think that this one's going to come in 4th place, though it might beat out Blackout, but it's not taking down PUBG or Fortnite. Fortnite. That's just not gonna happen. I really hope that Respawn just comes out, balls to the wall, new updates, amazing content, fixes bugs, and just makes me completely wrong and sounding dumb on this review. But I think we're looking at about a maybe 1.5 year game. Alright guys, that is all for this review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. And let me know in the comments what you think about this style of review, because I've been thinking about doing more game reviews on this channel as part of my new content plan. Anyway, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.